Hello and good afternoon friends, welcome to the CEC EduSet live lecture. Dear friends, in this session today we are going to talk on one of the major issue, or I would say the major point on which today, all because it is a thing which everybody needs, whether it is your professional life or it is your social life. It is the word which is often communicated. Yes dear friends, communication. It is all talked about, whether you are talking to your friend or you are talking to your boss, or you are talking to an employee, or you are talking to a layman or a common man. This communication plays an important part. The more communicative you are, the more chances of your winning the world are higher. So dear friends, today we are going to talk on effective communication. We would be discussing first of all what is communication and what are the tips to the effective communications. Under this very topic we are going to discuss on 7 C's of communication. We would be discussing on how body language plays an important part while we are communicating. Sometimes we don't speak a word, but with the help of our body language, we tend to communicate which we feel so. So dear friends, for this we have with us in our studios Dr. Subhash Kakkad. As you all know that Dr. Kakkad visit to us regularly, and with the help of the EduSet lecture, he teaches to the students of management, and not only the students of management, to the elite areas also, to the elite subjects also. He gives his full support. So taking advantages from his experiences, let's try to understand from him what communication is and what are the effective ways of communication. Hello sir, welcome to the EduSet lecture.
Thank you Gitika, and welcome viewers to today's lecture. And today's lecture is on effective communication. I consider this is an important topic which one should take care of in present scenario. If we want to have something successful, we should improve on our communication. And this communication is not only possible with the human beings, but it is also possible with animals. And the way we communicate, today we are going to discuss, so that our communication becomes effective and result oriented. Whatever we talk, whatever we communicate, it should give us some fruits. Today we will discuss some tips which one should take care of while communicating. And this communication is there whether we are living in a family, whether we are working in a corporate world, whether we are in a teaching job. Our communication plays an important role, because with this tool we can achieve success and we can face failure also. So that we should be successful all the times without any problem, we shall be discussing some of the tips which one must take care of while having the communication with other people. Communication is possible with like-minded people, and if we discuss transactional analysis, there are 3 states of people. One is child, other is adult, and the third one is parent. When people become child, they can become child in 2 ways, like rebellious child, like submissive child. Rebellious child will always oppose to the other fellow who is communicating with him. Adult will give a positive solution to the problem, and he will participate in the communication process in an effective manner. Third is parent-like behavior. Third state is the people behave like parents, like nurturing parent and like corrective parent. Nurturing parent always helping others in their day-to-day life or in their problem which they are facing. Other form of parent is corrective parent. They are always in the abusive form to others, and these are 3 states one behaves in normal communication process. Now we have to see in what state we can have the results, in what state we cannot have the results. If there is a parallel communication among these three states, we will have the discussion continue. Discussion will keep on continuing if it is a parallel. What do I mean by parallel communication? When child is discussing to child, when adult is discussing to adult, when parent is discussing to parent. When child is discussing to child, they will discuss Cartoon Network, etc. And when parents are discussing to parents, they will discuss religious channels like Astha channel. And when adult to adult discussion is there, adult to adult communication is there, then it will be some fruitful discussion, some fruitful communication will be there. And the fruitful will give us the results of that particular discussion. Now, always we want the discussion should be in the state of adult, so that we have the discussion to be fruitful. We should get some result out of the discussion, we get some result out of the communication. Now, the people have three states which I have already discussed. A person can be 60-year-old, but he is discussing in a state of a child of say 10-12 years old. So, his state is to be brought to a level so that we can have a fruitful discussion and a resultful discussion. And since I said discussion is fruitful only in the adult state, if somebody is behaving like a parent or somebody is behaving like a child, we have to bring its level to a adult level and then start the communication process, so that our discussion becomes fruitful. And this we have to see always when we are communicating and to achieve some result, to achieve some positive result. And adult to adult discussion can only lead to positive results. So, we will devote some time on the effective communication, what are the tips required to follow in the communication process. An overview of this lecture is functions of communication, the communication process, communication fundamentals and key communication skills, the skills required to have an effective communication all the time. So, we shall be discussing all those skills, all those functions, all those communication processes which are there to be fruitful, to be effective in the communication process. There are functions of communication: control, motivation, emotional expression and information. These are the four functional areas of any communication process. Again I will repeat: control, motivation, emotional expression and information. When we are discussing, we are having a communication with somebody else, we have to control our communication so that it is directed towards achieving a positive result. And it should be in a motivational phase. One should himself be motivated and he should be able to motivate others to participate in the communication process. And we have to show our emotions also when we are communicating with others. And we are passing on information to others, we are seeking information from others, and this is the function of any good communication. The communication process, it starts with a source which starts the communication process. Then there is a encoding system, communication is encoded, and then channel is there, and through the channel it passes on to somebody else, and then the decoding process takes place and the receiver is there who receives the communication, and that fellow gives back the feedback to the source. I will repeat the process. It starts with the source who is generating communication, and then it is encoded. It is encoded in the sense it will pass on to somebody else via a channel. After the channel, it will be decoded so that it is understood by the receiver. Receiver will receive the communication, and based on the what he receives, he gives the feedback to the source. Communication fundamentals. In the fundamentals, we have to discuss direction, whether it is downward, upward or crosswise. When we say downward, it will be coming from the top to bottom. When we say upward, it will be going from bottom to top. And crosswise, it can go anywhere. And the network, we shall be using the formal versus informal. We can have a formal network of communication, we can have informal network of communication. And now, we are to have communication networks. Here we have made 3 types of communication networks which are possible in any communication process. First one we have called chain. When things are linked like a chain, each one is part of that particular link, that particular chain in the form of a link. One link joins the other and completes the chain, and this is called the chain network. The second one is wheel network, when things are connected in the form of a wheel. There are spikes of the wheel and the communication process takes place between different bodies in the form of wheel. 1:1 communication is there. And third one is all channel. All channels are possible. One can have any sort of communication with anybody, and this is called all channel. All channels are possible. I will repeat, the one is chain, one after the other communication goes on, moving from one person to the other person, like in the form of a chain with the form of links. In the form of wheel, when there are people, 1:1 interaction is there with each one, and then it is in the form of a wheel. Then the last one is all channels, where every communication is possible among the people who are part of the communication process. There are barriers to effective communication. The first one is filtering. When we use communication process, we introduce some sort of filter. The entire communication process, when takes place, only certain information is passed on to the receiver through the source, and some filtration process takes place in between the source and the receiver. Like some people like to have only good things told to them, and then there will be a filter mechanism which will filter out bad things and allow the good things to pass on from the filter to the receiver. Selective perception. There is another barrier which is called selective perception. The receiver has a selective perception of the things, so he will look at the communication process in such a way that he perceives only selectively. Then is the emotions. Emotions also are barriers to the effective communication, because if we are communicating to the other person using emotional form of communication, our emotions will overpower the communication process. If we want to convey something and our emotions are showing something else, then our emotions will overpower the communication process and something else will be received by the receiver. Language. Language is also a barrier. Sometimes a language which we are using to communicate will communicate something else than what we want to communicate to the other person. Then it becomes a barrier, because sometimes a language is not completely understood by the receiver. Though we have encoding process and the coding process in between the communication process, but the language takes a front seat and it becomes a barrier to the communication process. Key communication skills. The important skills which are required for effective communication are listening skills. Here we have a communication, we have received a communication. If we are not patiently listening to the communication, it will not have any effect on us. It will not be effective in the process. So, we want to be patiently listening to the communication what we are receiving, and only then we have to react and we have to communicate our own side. And feedback skills, how to give the feedback to the communication what we have received, there is a skill required and that is called feedback skill. And then the presentation skill, how to present ourselves in the eyes of other people is the presentation skill. These are the three skills which are very important to make the communication effective. I will repeat: listening skill, feedback skills and the presentation skill. Basic communication skills profile. We have discussed communication order, learned, extent used and the extent taught. There are 4 columns. First one is communication, second word is order, learned, extent used and the extent taught. In the communication we have listed listening, speaking, reading and writing. And the order learned is first, second, third and fourth. Extent used is in the listening process we have used the extent is first, to the first level we have used the listening, speaking we have used it to the second level, reading we have used it to the third level and writing we have used it to the fourth level. And the extent taught, what we have learned listening up to the fourth level, speaking up to the third level and reading up to the second level, writing up to the first level. These are the basic communication skills and their profile. What we are to use up to the first level, what we are used to second, third and fourth levels. All these are written here in the skill profile. So, things which are to be taken care of, there are certain things we should take care of while communicating with others. Watch your body language. If you want to communicate something, your body language should match with the expression what you want to convey to the others. If your body language is telling others something else and your verbal communication is telling something else, and finally it will have a different meaning and it will be understood differently by the receiver. So, your body language plays an important role and 70% of the communication is done by the body language. Then we have to get rid of what? Unnecessary conversation fillers. When we are communicating, we use unnecessary things which we should not be using. So, we have to get rid of the habit of using unnecessary conversation fillers, and then we have to have a script ready. Maybe it is a small communication, maybe it is a large communication, but we should have script ready with us while we are communicating, so that we should have a plan with us what we are going to communicate to others, what exactly is to be transferred from us to the other people, so that they understand what we want to convey to others. So, we should be ready with the script all the time we are communicating. Have a small story also along with the communication script. Sometimes it is required to have a filler which is used as a story to be effective communicator, to be strengthening our communication idea what we want to communicate to others, and it should be always with some small stories, so that communication becomes effective and it is understood clearly by the receiver. Ask questions and repeat the other person. The other idea is keep asking the questions to the others where you are communicating, and when you are asking your questions, at the same time repeat what the others have told you. If you are doing this, it will strengthen the communication process. One, you are getting to understand what exactly the receiver is up to. When you are repeating what others are telling you, then you are again strengthening the idea of others and your own idea. You are repeating the other person's perception of what you are saying. Then it is clearly understood. Whether it is completely understood by others or not, If it is not understood, you can rectify your communication process so that it is communicated the way you want to communicate. And the next one is put away the distractions. If any distraction in the process comes as a barrier, then you are to remove the distraction from the process so that your communication becomes very effective. And the distraction can be in any form. You have to understand the distraction and then you have to remove. Sometimes the culture becomes a distraction. Okay, then you have to take care of the communication process irrespective of the culture. You are able to communicate the idea what you want to do. Then tailor your message to your audience. First, you have to understand your audience, what your audience are up to and what they want in communication. And then you have to make your script tailor-made to suit the audience to whom you are communicating. If you are communicating something scientific in nature to the students of arts, you will not be able to communicate properly and effectively. So, first you have to understand what your audience are, and depending upon the nature of the audience, you have to tailor make your communication so that it becomes effective in the long run. Be brief and specific. When you are communicating, you have to be very brief and very specific. I would say your discussion should be short and crisp so that it directly goes to the mind of the receiver and it is clearly understood by him. Up your empathy. You have to be up to your empathy all the time of the communication process. And then last one, but not the least one. You have to listen, listen and listen. Have patience, listen properly, give time to others to speak and then understand. I have already repeatedly told that whatever the other person, whatever the receiver is telling you, you repeat. If you repeat, it will show that what you have understood from the receiver's communication, whether it is the same what you wanted to convey to the receiver or it is something different. If it is something different, you have to change your communication in such a way that your receiver understands this properly. Again, I have already told you are to understand the audience, what type of audience are there with whom you are communicating. If you have understood your audience properly, it means you have your half the job is done. Next, you have to tailor make your communication so that it is understood by the audience. Now, we will discuss the meaning. Listening is with the mind. When you are listening, you are not speaking at all. Whatever is being communicated, it is directly going to your mind. And you are using your mind, you are using your heart, and then you are analyzing what has been communicated to you. Hearing with the senses. When you are listening, you are hearing. When you are hearing, I am telling you, you use your senses in an effective manner so that you understand what has been told to you. Listening is conscious. Listen with consciousness. Don't listen for the sake of listening. Whatever you are listening, you are understanding it, it is getting embedded in your mind. If something is not clearly understood, you have to ask it again and again. And at the same time, what you have understood, you have to repeat. You have to tell others that what has been communicated and I have understood like this. This will strengthen the process. This will prove that you have understood the communication properly and effectively. If there is a gap between the understanding of two persons, then it will be got clear while you are repeating what you have understood. So, an active process of eliciting information you have to use it actively, and ideas, attitudes and emotions. You are transferring the ideas, you are transferring the attitudes, and you are showing your emotions on the communication what you have received. Interpersonal oral exchange. This discussion will be interpersonal and it will be oral, it will be verbal, it will be full of body language also. Fallacies about listening. While you are listening, there are certain fallacies involved in this listening process. Listening is not my problem. You feel that listening is not my problem, it is your own problem. You have to listen it patiently so that you understand the other fellow, what he is telling it to you. Listen, listen and listen. Listening and hearing are the same. Again, this is a fallacy. Listening is different from hearing. Listening is when you are hearing using your mind and heart. Hearing is without using your mind, just for the sake of listening you are hearing and not using your mind. Good readers are good listeners. We have a fallacy that good readers are also good listeners, but it is not always true. Listening improves with age. Again, it is not so. Listening may improve and it may not improve by age. The old persons may not be good listeners, but if you are using your brain, if you are using your heart while listening, it means you are exactly listening and not only hearing. Learning not to listen. Learning not to listen, again it is a fallacy and we have to avoid it all the time. Thinking about what we are going to say rather than listening to a speaker. Whenever a communication process is going on, we are in the habit of framing sentences in our mind, what we are going to speak the next, but we are not giving attention to the speaker. So, we should not be making sentences in our mind, but we should be keeping control of the discussion, what others are communicating to us more than what we want to communicate to others. We have to give due importance to the listening process and listen, listen and listen. Talking when we should be listening. Again, it is a fallacy. We should not be talking when we are listening. Listening is a process which is to be done without doing anything else, because listening and using mind is the exact process of listening. Hearing what we expect to hear rather than what is actually said. Sometimes it so happens that somebody is telling us something else and we are getting a meaning, what we want to get a meaning out of the discussion. But people are telling us something else and we are assuming that the person who is talking to us is telling what we want to know. So, again this is a fallacy. Not paying attention, again it is a fallacy. We have to give full attention to the listening process. What others people are saying, we have to give full attention. Preoccupation, prejudice, self-centeredness and stereotype behavior. Again, we have to avoid all these kind of behaviors while listening. Listening is the main step to the communication process. Listening skills are difficult to learn. Okay, we have to follow these skills thoroughly. Stages of the listening process. We have to discuss now stages. What all stages are there in the listening process? First is hearing. When we are hearing, we are getting something, some communication is being passed on to us and focusing on the message. The second step, we are hearing, we are focusing on the message, what has been delivered to us or what is being delivered to us, and we are using our mind, we are using our heart, we are understanding the message thoroughly. It is not only the hearing process, but it is hearing and understanding the process, understanding the message, understanding the communication, comprehending and interpreting. When we are hearing, we are focusing on the message, we are trying to understand what is being communicated to us. Analyzing and evaluating. then we have to analyze in our mind, we have to evaluate the message which has been passed on to us, and then we have to respond in a manner which is exactly in line with the earlier message which has been passed on to us. Remembering, and we have to remember what has been discussed so far, because in the subsequent communication, the ideas which has already been transferred to us or the ideas which we have transferred to others will be discussed and will come into the discussion process. We have to remember what has been discussed earlier in the future process. Barriers to active listening. What are the barriers? We have to discuss now. Environmental barrier. Environment is also a barrier to the effective communication. We have to control the environment so that our communication process becomes effective. We have to understand how environment is not helping us in our communication process. So, we have to understand the environment thoroughly and change the environment if it is acting like a barrier to the proper communication. It can add noise to the communication. We should take care of the environment under which we are communicating. Physiological barriers are also there. We have to take care of physiological barriers also. Psychological barriers. Psychologies are not matching of the receiver and the source. We have to match their psychologies. And then if they are acting like barriers, we have to remove those barriers. Selective listening. Again, selective listening, what we discussed earlier, is a barrier. There is communication going on, but we are listening only selectively, and we are listening only those things which we like to listen. All other things we are ignoring. So, this is called selective listening. This becomes a barrier to our communication. Negative listening attitude, and there is a negative listening attitude means whatever is being communicated to us, we will pick up only negative things all the time. It is our attitude, it is our behavior. So, this becomes a barrier to the effective communication. See, out of 100 things, maybe 40% are negative things, and we will listen only those 40% things which are negative. So, only 40% will be received to us and 60% of the communication will be ignored by us. This becomes a barrier. But in the effective communication process, we have to listen, hear and listen all 100% communication, and then we have to decide what is going to be the answer to this communication. Personal reactions are also barriers to effective communication. Sometimes we start reacting to the communication, but it is not to be done in effective communication. And poor motivation. There is a poor motivation to the listening process. People are not motivated to listen and listen and listen. So, if motivation is not there, motivation is missing, communication cannot be effective. So, for effective communication, motivation should be there. If non-motivation is there, it becomes barrier to the effective communication. Then we are to discuss 7 C's of effective communication. What are the 7 C's? These 7 C's are, first one is clear. Communication should be clear without any ambiguity. It should not be having more than one meaning. If it is having more than one meaning, our communication process will not be effective. Because we are communicating to the others more than one meaning, but it should be clear, one meaning, and the communication process should be giving that particular meaning to the receiver. And then concise. Our communication should be concrete, short and crisp and concise. The moment we start using more and more words, we will commit more and more mistakes. If the mistakes are there, the effectiveness of the communication will get reduced. We want highly effective communication, so it should be concise, short and crisp. Concrete. whatever we are communicating, it should not be flexible. Whatever we are saying something, it should have a concrete, specific meaning, and that meaning should be transferred to others. If there are 4 receivers and we are communicating, all the 4 receivers get the same sort of communication and the same sort of meaning also. If that is the case, then we can say that it is effective communication. The 4th C is correct. Whatever we are communicating, it should be correct information. It should not be wrong information. If it is correct, your own authenticity will improve. And then coherent. We are communicating something. If during the communication process, if we are not coherent, we are telling something now and after some time we tell something else and it becomes uncoherent, then our communication will not be effective. People will get a different meaning from the communication process. If it is coherent, means one communication is getting out of the previous communication and the previous communication, and it is following like a small story, then it becomes coherent and this communication is understood properly to the receiver. Then it is complete. We should not leave our communication incomplete. If it is incomplete, it is subjected to distortion also. Whatever is incomplete, the receiver will add from its own side. When something is being added from its own side, it can be different from the source. What the source wants to add will not be added by the receiver, something else will be added. If something else is added, it will a wrong communication. So, this is what we do not want. Okay? It should be complete communication. When we are communicating, it should be complete, it should not be halfway through. And then last but not least, 7th one is 7C is courteous. When we are communicating something, we should be using courtesy also. We should have a due respect for the receiver who is receiving our communication. So, these were the 7 C's. I will repeat these 7 C's. The first one is clear, second is concise, third is concrete, fourth is correct, fifth is coherent, sixth is complete, and seventh is courteous. These are 7 C's of effective communication. How to be an effective listener? We have said that listening process is main process in the communication. What do you think about listening? Understand the complexities of listening and prepare to listen, adjust to the situation under which the communication is taking place. Focus on ideas or key points and capitalize on the speed differential and organize material for learning. When you are listening, you are learning something and you have to capitalize on the speed differential, because speed differential will be there and the gap between the two you can utilize in understanding the communication ideas. When that is there, then the communication process becomes more effective because of proper listening. How to be an effective listener? Now, we will discuss something which is very important to be effective listener. What you feel about listening, want to listen, delay judgment, admit your biases, do not tune out dry subjects. Dry subjects, the subjects which are of no interest to both source and the listener, source and the receiver. Accept responsibilities for understanding, encourage others to talk also. We have to encourage others. We keep listening and we have to encourage others to speak. What you do about listening? Establish eye contact with the speaker. When we are listening, we have to have an eye contact with the listener. It is said that in the interview process, when you face the interview, you have to maintain an eye contact with the interview board people so that your communication becomes more effective. Take notes effectively. When something is being communicated to you, make a note of the things which are being discussed, and then this will show your seriousness to the discussion, because you are noting down and nobody can fool you after the discussion that something else was discussed and you have understood in a different way. Because now you are noting it down, it means whatever is being discussed, whatever is being communicated, only those things you are noting down. Be a physically involved listener. You have to physically show that you are involved in the listening process. Whatever is being communicated, you are listening it properly. Avoid negative mannerism. All the time you have to maintain a good mannerism, good body language, and show that you are genuinely interested in the listening process. Exercise your listening muscles and follow the golden rule that listen, listen and listen. Feedback skills now. Now we will discuss feedback skills. What are these? These can be positive, these can be negative. Positive versus negative feedback. Both sorts of feedbacks we have to provide, whether it is positive, whether it is negative. Here we have the techniques of communicating positive feedback, we have techniques of communicating negative feedback. Positive feedback is more readily accepted and accurately perceived than negative feedback, because the negative feedback, when it is given to others, there will be lot of questions. People will ask you, why is it is so, how it has happened, please explain me again. So these type of questions will be asked when it is a negative communication, but when it is positive, people will admit it without questioning you. Positive feedback fits what most people wish to hear and already believe about themselves, because it is a positive. Even they do not know about your positive strengths, if somebody tells them, they will accept them, because these are positive in nature. On the other hand, negative feedback is most likely to be accepted when it comes from a credible source, if it is objective in form, and then it is accepted. Otherwise, it will be not accepted, because there are 2-3 things. If those are there, then the people will accept the negative feedback. One is, the source should be genuine from where it is coming, negative feedback. If this is going to improve you, then people will accept it. Otherwise, people will not accept any negative feedback. Subjective impressions carry weight only when they come from a person with high status and credibility. So here the two things which are being talked about is your status and the credibility. Status is not in your hand, credibility is in your hand. Whatever you are telling, if it is meaningful, only then people will accept your negative feedback. Otherwise, they will reject your communication. So your credibility must be maintained before starting the communication process, and this is not one day's job. This credibility is formed in due course of time. It takes days, it takes weeks and months to have a credibility in the communication process. Credibility means your integrity of talks, your integrity of verbal communication. What you are communicating is correct. That credibility is to be maintained and earned while communicating. Developing effective feedback skills. There are skills to have a good feedback. Focus on specific behaviors on which you are going to give the feedback. There should not be general statement, and first focus only on the areas where the feedback is required to be made. Do not give any general statement, and your feedback should be there with some examples, with some stories, so that people will understand you, people will agree with you what you are telling, and it will improve your credibility. keep feedback impersonal. You are not supposed to give personal comments. It should be impersonal when it is specifically negative feedback. Keep feedback goal oriented. There should be some goal in front of you for giving a feedback to a person. Maybe you want to improve the behavior of the person, you want to improve the efficiency of the person. So, that goal should be there in front of you while communicating. Make feedback well timed. Feedback should be with a time frame, and if you are giving it with a time frame, it will have an effective impression on the receiver. Ensure understanding, and you have to ensure all the time that what you are telling it to the receiver is being understood in a proper way. What you want to convey, the same thing is being understood by the receiver. If it is so, then your credibility will improve and increase. Direct feedback toward behavior that is controllable by the recipient. So, there should be direct impact on the behavior of the person who is receiving your feedback, and this feedback can be in the form of negative feedback as well as in the form of positive feedback. Groupthink, then it is a teamwork also. Sometimes you are giving information to a team of members, phenomena in which the norm for consensus overrides the realistic appraisal of alternative course of action. Here you are communicating something else, but the team understand in a different way. Then team behavior, team feedback will override the individual feedback, because it is the average of all the members of the team who is giving the feedback. Presentation skills. In the communication process, we take care of presentation skills also. Ideas which we are communicating, concepts or issues which are talked about are spoken to a group or audience. Here again I will repeat, you have to understand your audience first, and then you should have a script ready, and then you present it to the receiver. Public speaking is one of the most feared things. I could make such a fool of myself. It is always said that public speaking, again it is an art. When we are communicating something in a public, we should know how to address the public, how to address the audience. Again, the golden rule is you have to understand your audience to whom you are communicating. If you have understood your audience in a proper and nice manner, you will have a good script which will be understood by the audience. Skill required to give a good presentation can be developed, and the art is prepare, prepare and prepare. I would say practice, practice, practice. You have to practice a lot before giving a presentation to the audience. Preparation and planning is the first step on the ladder to success in any communication process, and specifically for presentation. Aspects in the development of a good presentation are self-centered, means it is towards your self-esteem. Audience-centered, it is towards your audience, and the third one is subject-centered. This can be three types of presentations being made. The first one is, it is specifically for you only. This is called self-centered. Sometimes you have a presentation only for the audience, and this is called audience-centered. And the third one is, you are not having any specific presentation for yourself, means self, and not for the audience, but you are talking about some particular subject, then it is called subject-centered. So, you have to understand whether this discussion is going to be self-centered or audience-centered or subject-centered. Accordingly, you have to keep your script ready so that it becomes very effective when you are presenting it. I want, who, to what, where, when and how, because why it is to be done. So, all these questions should be answered before starting the presentation. Presentation skills. What do you want to present? content part we are discussing. Content, what exactly is required to be presented to the audience? What do you want to present? Purpose, why? Why do you want to present? What is the reason for presenting? That should be known to you. And where will you be presenting? Place also should be known to you. How do you want to present? The words to be used in presentation. And who is your audience? All these 5 questions should be answered before starting the presentation. And before starting the presentation, your script must be ready. And I would say you should practice it also before having a exact proper presentation. Preparation, audience analysis. What is the audience interested in? When I say you have to know your audience thoroughly, what exactly is required by your audience, you should know it before starting the presentation. If audience requires something else and you are presenting something else, there will be gap between the two and it will never be an effective communication. So, you have to understand your audience first and give them what exactly they want. What does the audience want? What does the audience already know and needs to know? There are 2 things. You should know what exactly audience know so far and what they want to know further, and you have to present those things which are being required by your audience. What are the needs, expectations from the presentation? What exactly audience need from your presentation? How much and what they expect from your presentation? Only those things should be provided and in an effective manner. So, if that is there, then your presentation will be fruitful and goal will be achieved. How will the audience benefit from this presentation? And you have to tell them this presentation is going to help you in these particular areas. Structure the content in line with the audience needs. You have to prioritize the needs of the audience, and in the priority you have to tell them, you have to give the presentation as per the priority of the needs which you have noted from the audience. What do you want to tell the audience? Exactly that should be known before starting the presentation, because this will be known only when you know the audience and only when you know that already what is understood by the audience and what are the expectations of the audience, and you will prepare your script according to the needs of the audience. What is your objective? And then now you come to yourself. What is your own objective of giving the presentation? Why do you want to have a presentation? So, your objective should also be fulfilled while you are fulfilling the objective of your audience. Prepare keeping in mind the time allotted. Now, you have to keep a track of the time. Some time will be allotted to you for your presentation, and in that particular time you have to give the needs of the audience, and then you have to fulfill your own objective. Anticipate the questions and prepare them well before starting the presentation. Here, people, while having plans for their presentation, they list down the questions what can be expected from the audience while presenting. So, be ready with those questions and their answers. Arrange points logically and sequentially. When you are presenting something, it should flow like a sequence of activities or sequence of statements. There should not be abrupt change in your thinking. So, it should the next one should follow the previous one, and it should flow like a story, and if it is so, then the audience will appreciate your efforts and they will understand the communication what you want to give it to them. Prepare handouts also. If possible, then prepare handouts and give those handouts to the audience. Presentation skills. Structure the presentation. 2 to 2.5 minutes opening and the beginning. So, you have to spend 2 to 2.5 minutes in the beginning process when you are starting your presentation, and 20 to 25 minutes middle section of your presentation should consume 20 to 21 minutes, and 2 to 3 minutes closing and ending your presentation, and you are to give around 5 minutes for any question, etc., if there is any. So, this should be the structure of your presentation. While communication, now I have discussed the presentation skills, how to present something and how to time your presentation. The beginning should be carefully designed, because if the beginning is good, it will motivate your audience to listen more and more. If beginning is bad, then your audience will avoid listening to your presentation. Get attention, shock, humor, question, story, facts and figures. You have to present them. Well rehearsed, well practiced, yet it should look natural. You should have done your homework before starting the presentation, and it should not be obvious that you have prepared something, but it should look like as if it is naturally flowing out of your mind and out of your heart. Motivate audience to listen. Here you have to motivate people so that they listen carefully. So, listeners, viewers, I have discussed certain communication skills. I have given importance to the listening process. I have given importance to the feedback, and I have given importance to the presentation. We have discussed presentation skills also, and one should take care of, but in the entire process, one, you have to practice. You have to keep a script ready with you, and you have to understand your audience thoroughly, for whom you are making the communication, for whom you are making the presentation. You have to understand their needs, their expectations, and to start the presentation with your own objective also. If all these things are there and these are properly managed, your communication will be very effective. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much. As it is always said that some are born good communicators and some need to polish their skills. So, all those who want to polish their skills of communication, Dr. Kakkad has given you very good tips. I hope that you will all work out on those tips. And if you have any queries, you can mail us at info.cc@nic.in. With this note, thank you, sir. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.